Okay, guys, I wanted to come in here and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to track those people that you're having conversations with. I've done it a few different ways since I started coaching. When I first started coaching, I did everything pen and paper. So, what I would do is I would just keep a regular old notebook next to me, just like this. And then I would have my planner. And I'll show you the planner that I actually like and still use. And that is this Plain Jane. It's a 2018 calendar. It's Staples brand. I wish I had like the code to tell you like which one it was. But what to look for is this. I'm just going to go to a page where I don't have anything on it. On one side of it, you want it to just have the days of the week, and the other side, notes. So I find you can use whatever works for you, but I'm just sharing with you what's worked really well for me. And so what I've done, and we'll actually, you know what, we can use December as an example because December is gone and this was a new notebook and I had already used December in my old notebook. So for instance, let's say I'm talking to somebody named Jen, right? And Jen tells me that she gets paid on Friday and that she wants to purchase her challenge pack then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say payday Jen. And then I'm going to add her right over here to my notes section. So what I did is you can see I put Jen right down here on Friday because she said that she gets paid on Friday. So I'm going to put her there so I know to follow up with her then. And then I also put her over here. So what I like to do is on this side, I kind of like to call it like my hot list or like my 10 in play, if you will, or maybe it's more than 10. But that's just the list of people that I'm talking to currently who have said that they are interested in a challenge group, that we're in the middle of discussing their fitness goals and that sort of thing, that I've sent an enroller to and maybe they haven't purchased yet, or that we're at the point where we're talking about them purchasing, but like, you know, it's going to be a little bit. So I put their name here so that they're always in front of me so I remember to follow up with them. So let's just say, like for another example, you started a conversation with somebody and it never really got that far, but you know, you started talking and maybe they asked you a question about like, you know, what you're doing with your fitness or whatever, but then they didn't respond after that and they ran off. So maybe you just put them, and maybe that happened on Monday, right? So then you would put their name right here. So example, like follow up. So you'd put their name like right here, right? Another thing that I would do is like, but I wouldn't put them on my hot list because we haven't quite gotten there yet. Or let's say somebody says like, you know, it's like my daughter's dance recital on Saturday. So I would put like on the following Monday, I would put follow up with so-and-so and ask how dance recital was. So that's kind of how I use this book. So anybody that I'm talking to that I can see purchasing in the next few weeks goes right in my hot list. If they don't purchase that week, I transfer them right over to the next week and put them in that list again, right? So that they're always in front of me and I always have their names there. Now, the reason I say keep this regular list over here is that way you can just keep a running list of every single person that you've started a conversation with, period, right? And that way you can go back at like the end of the month and you can look at that list and you can start conversations with them again. So like maybe you never got to a point where you were talking about fitness or goals or challenge groups or even like what you do or anything like that. Maybe you just started a conversation about a post they put up or, you know, an event they went to, or maybe they liked a picture of your dog or your kid or like whatever. So you started a conversation with them, but you never actually moved it far enough along to start talking Beachbody type stuff. Then just write them down in a giant list. And you can have the list going, and that way every single person you've talked to goes on that list, right? Now, if there's somebody you need to follow up with, they're going in the book. If there's somebody who's on that hot list, they're going on the book. But if there's somebody that you're just kind of building that relationship with and talking to and that you've actually started conversations with, put them over here. And then what happens is you get through like the full month, and the next month you go talk to people and you're like, all right, who should I talk to? You're going to start with new people each day, people who liked your post each day. But then you'll be like, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to reach out to every single person that I reached out to last month and just restart that conversation with them. And you have that list there for you. So that is how I used the paper planner system. A system I do not recommend is using your messenger thread and just going through your messages and seeing who, because eventually that will become far too much and you're going to get overwhelmed. The other thing that I'd recommend, so opposite of paper pen, is electronic. Now, for me, I tried doing an Excel spreadsheet or like a Google Drive. That did not work for me. Again, it became overwhelming because it was just so long and it was really hard to keep up with and update constantly. For me, just quickly jotting something down on a piece of paper while I'm working is a lot quicker than going into an Excel spreadsheet and updating the name and what did we talk about and all that jazz. Like, I didn't want to do that. So I was introduced to something called Teamzy. And so Teamzy is something that you have to pay for, but you do get the first 30 days free. So you can definitely try it out first to see if you really like it before you commit. Then if you want it, it's like $29 a month. But guys, keep in mind, it's your business. It's a business expense. At the end of the year, you write that off on your taxes. And, you know, if it's the name of the game is spending $29 a month so that you can make SE10 or above and make thousands of dollars a month, it's worth it, right? So I use Teamzy. I'm just going to show you an example of it as well, because I also use it in a way that works for me and not the way that Teamzy necessarily recommends it. So let me share my screen. We're going to come in here. Okay. So you can see some names in here and stuff. Just ignore that for right now. But what I wanted to show you was this. You'll see I've got 49 follow-ups over here. And I'm just on my dashboard. Now, I'm going to help you by saying, ignore the dashboard. Ignore the dashboard, because when I first got started using Teamzy, I had set goals for myself on how many prospects I wanted to reach out to, how many of my customers I want to check in on, how many coaches of mine I want to check in on each day. And I've realized that if I'm just reaching out, I'm going to hit my prospects. Customers and coaches, I'm talking to my customers and coaches every single day in my challenge group where they're asking me questions. I don't need to set goals around that. Invites, again, those are my prospects. And then, of course, adding people to your social network, you should be adding like 10 to 15 people a day. Just go out there and friend request, and you should be doing that anyways. You can track it here if you want to, if that helps you. And then, of course, guys, these are just like, oh, did I do this today? And you can click those off if you want to, but I don't really use that. Let me show you how I use this. So when you're first getting started with Teamzy, you have something called the Setup Wizard. You can find it right here, but if you're just signing into it, it's automatically going to walk you through it. When you do the Setup Wizard, it's going to show you exactly how you get all of your friends out of Facebook downloaded into an Excel spreadsheet so that you can upload them in here. That way they're all in here already and you don't have to add them constantly. But after you've added them in here, say you friend 5 new people during the day, you very easily can come over here and hit, you know, I added so-and-so and then add contact and they're in there, right? So like say you made a few new Facebook friends, they accepted your friend request. That's all you do. You just go in there and add them. So they're already in the system, which makes it pretty easy to track people. So I'm not having to go and type in names. I'm not having to do any of that crazy stuff of like, okay, now I've got to, you know, I reached out to 30 people today. Now I have to go add their names and add what I said and all that stuff. I don't do that. So then you can see over here that when you talk to somebody, I'm just going to go to my follow-up list real quick. So say I wanted to follow up with Alicia. I would come in here and I would, you know, put that I'm going to follow up with her through Facebook. I would head over to Facebook and I would start my message to her. But when I get to Facebook, I'm going to be able to open up that messenger and I'm going to be able to see what my last conversation with her was. So I don't really need to take notes here and take the time to do that, right? Because it's all right there for me. So I will go ahead and put Facebook, and then depending on what our conversation was. So if she's saying, okay, I'm going to purchase tomorrow, then I would hit tomorrow. If she said, I'm going to purchase next week, I'd say, okay, follow up with her in a week. If she says, you know, I'm just not interested right now, I don't know, then I'm going to put her for a month out. Or maybe like she said, you know, she's got a lot going on for the next couple months. And then I can go like this and select a custom date. And I can go, okay, let's follow up in a few months, right? They never come off my list. They just go up here. So once I've done that, what the really cool part is that the next day when I sign into Teamzy, anybody that I need to follow up with is automatically going to show up right here. I don't pay attention to any of these other tabs. I literally hit follow up and then I have my list of follow-ups. So that makes life super duper simple. And then I can go out and I can message new people on Facebook. And as I do, or Instagram, and as I do, I can come in and I can start typing their name in. And let's just say like, you know, I don't know, let's put like I don't even know if Meg's in here because I took like my coaches out, I think. But let's just say I want to follow up with Meg Lyon. Here we go. I would hit Meg Lyon, and because she wasn't in my follow-ups, but she's just somebody that I'm starting a conversation with, I'm going to go, okay, let's connect. I reached out to her through Facebook, and she wants to get started on Friday of next week. And so I'll come over here and I'll go, boom, follow up with her Friday the 16th, hit log connect. And now on Friday the 16th, Meg's name is automatically going to pop up right here for follow-up. So after I've done that, I don't have to think about it anymore, right? Like I don't have to worry that I'm missing people. I don't have to worry about any of that. I know that when I set my follow-up, it's going to show up when I need it to. And sometimes if it pops up and you're like, wait, why was I following up with that person? Then you're just going to go over to Facebook and hit that messenger, or you're going to go to your Instagram and you're going to go to that message and you're going to say, okay, what was the last thing we talked about? And then you start from there. So that is how I track my people. And it's worked really, really well for me. I find that Teamzy I do love more than I did my notebook. And I was such a pen and paper person that I thought I would never, ever, ever convert. But now I'll just show you something from this week or whatever. Okay, so you'll see in January, for instance, I'm still using my notebook, but I use it slightly differently. I still write down my hot list on that side because I like to write down names. I feel like there's something about pen and paper, and I like to have them right in front of my face so I know every single day, these people are signing up. And that's putting it out there, right? But the other thing I did is I'll put Meg's doing the team call, and I'll put we have a basics call at this time. And I'll say, I have to follow up with one of my new coaches at 5 p.m. I have a call with these two people to help them with their training. I'll even put reminders in here, ask challengers in the group how they're doing individually. So I'll go find my personally sponsored coaches and challengers in the challenge group, and then I directly message them. So if I have an appointment or things like that, I put it on here and I put that sort of stuff. And then if I do things like groups, add to sneak peek group. So these are the people that were in the challenge group that I added to a coach sneak peek. So now I've listed it out there for myself so I can reach out to them. And so that's what I do in my book for now, but that's changed slightly, and all my follow-ups go through Teamzy. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. And if you have questions, you can drop them right in the comment section of either the Facebook training group that you're in, or if you're seeing this on YouTube, you can drop them in the comments there. All right.